At this time, I'd like to open up the Public Services Committee, Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. It's just a little after 6. Roll call, please.
Alderman Sherry Pickering.
Here.
Eve Ludwig.
Here.
Tricia Teague.
Present.
Robert Williams.
Present.
Darren York.
Here.
Chairman Rick Strebe.
Here.
6 present.
Okay, thank you. Brings us to item number 2, approval of minutes for 7/27/21. I'd like to make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. Need a second.
Second.
Any questions? Any changes? If not, roll call, please. Or do we-
Voice vote.
Voice, okay, voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. In front of you, item number 3 is the agenda you were sent. Is there any questions or deletions on that at this time? Oh, I do have something, I guess, on the agenda. Logan Cronk, a change on this would be Logan has another piece of property he'd like to insert.
Chairman, can you lower your mic?
Yeah.
Y'all, please make sure you lower your mic so we can be sure that the audience and the recording hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Logan has another property he wanted added, so I told him to go ahead and give it to you this evening. So when we get down there, you'll see another added property and he'll talk about that one. So the only thing, other than just that one change, I guess I'll make the motion to move and approve and dispense with the reading and ask for approval. Need a second, please.
Second.
Okay, votes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we're at item number 4, audience comments. Do we have any this evening?
I haven't received any cards. Did anyone wish to speak this evening? Evidently not.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman, please let the record reflect, though, that we do have a representative here with us for item 15C. So if we have any questions, I'm sure she'll be happy to answer those for us.
15C, okay. All right.
There are 2 15s on this agenda.
We'll just go down to closed session, make it 16. Items and information 17
I think she corrected that.
and
but,
adjournment
The printout
18.
that's on the table.
She
Yeah, it's
didn't
on the
make more
table.
copies for the table, so I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Corrected.
So with that, no audience comments, no chairman's comments. Item number 6, the approval of the payrolls for 8/20/21. Make the motion to move to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on the payroll? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman York.
Yes.
Pickering.
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Strebe.
Yes.
6 yes.
Puts us to item number 7, approval of vouchers payable for 8/24/21. I would make the motion to move to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I need a second, please.
Second.
Any questions on the vouchers payables? Not, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman Pickering.
Yes.
Alderman Ludwig.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Chairman Strebe.
Yes.
6 yes.
Puts us to item number 8, city clerk's report. Lisa Munson. She has an ordinance enacting and adopting supplement S57 to the city code of ordinances. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions?
What is the cost for this? Is there?
It's about $3,000 for the total cost
Okay.
to put it on the website and to also get the paper copies.
Okay.
For the newer aldermen, this is a supplement to add to the code of ordinances. If you look over on Corporation Counsel's desk, there's a big thick book of our code of ordinance, and we add to it. It's pretty much annually, sometimes semi-annually. And then you can also view the code of ordinances on our website, which I think most people are doing now. You can even copy and paste from it and print and do all sorts of things. It's on my webpage if you haven't had a chance to review it. Anybody have any questions?
No questions, and roll call, please.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, puts us to 8B, items of information. Do you have anything for us, Lisa?
The only thing I have, some of you may be aware, Anders Livery and Delivery, AKA Mr. Taxi, has closed. We do have an application from an individual who would like to start a taxi cab business, but we haven't issued a license yet. We've received a lot of phone calls about that.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You any questions?
How many taxi services do we have here in the city?
None right now.
Okay.
That was the only one we had.
How many are allowed under ordinance?
I don't think there is a limit.
Mm-mm. I think
It-
at one time we had 2 or 3, but
I think 3 at the most we've had.
3 is the most.
But we've only had one for, I'd say, the last 5 years.
Yes. Any other questions? Alderman Teague?
No, sir. Thank you.
That puts us to finance. Ashland Macy, the comptroller. Puts us 9A, a resolution approving the purchase of safety training and compliance software from Velocity EHS and authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2021 through 2022 finance number 011 budget. I would make the motion to move to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for an approval. Need a second, please.
Second.
Any questions for Ashland? Not, roll call, please.
Alderman Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
6 yes.
Puts us to 9B, authorizing a budget amendment to fiscal year 2021 through 2022, storm and sanitary sewer 402, solid waste 405, and general city 015, budgets for billing and collections, upfront costs. I will make the motion to move to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Any questions for Ashland on this? Not, roll call, please.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
6 yes.
Puts us to 9C, items of information, risk management, their monthly report. You have any questions on that? All right, and let's go to item number 2, personnel monthly report. Do you have any questions on that one? If not, I don't have any additional items of information. Ashland, do you have anything?
I do not. The finance department is just working to complete our regular duties, and I was just telling my peers that I have a little sticky note on my desk that says "Stay focused, budget, levy, billing, and collections." So that's my life right now. But as always, if you have any questions about anything you see or don't see, just questions that come up, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to make time.
Okay, thank you. Puts us to item number 10. Fire, Don McMaster is the fire chief. He has an ordinance, it's 10A, ordinance amending chapter 92 of the city code pertaining to fire prevention. Make the motion to move and approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Have any questions on this ordinance for the chief? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
6 yes.
All right. Any items of information from the fire chief? I know we got the monthly status report.
Am I on?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're on.
Month of July was a fairly quiet month as compared to normal months for us. We had 5 structure fires in the month of July. with a total estimated loss of only about $33,000, which is actually a good thing. All were fairly minor fires, and or a couple of them were actually vacant structures that either were scheduled to be demolished or should be demolished anyway. So obviously, the structures themselves had very little value, so it was not of a huge loss. Most of these were in such cases that. Beyond the 5 structure fires, we had about the normal 293 calls for service the entire month. Again, the bulk of those being medical calls. We have had, actually it's been this month, not last month. We've had a couple of hazardous materials spill incidents that we've responded to, which I've spoke about before, that we actually do bill out for that and potentially give some of our money back for the expenses related to that. Outside of that, other than the monthly report, we have our new hire is starting tomorrow. He's being sworn in at 9:00 tomorrow morning down here at Counsel's chambers. And then we'll have about 2 weeks with him, Monday through Friday, to get him prepped and ready to go, all of his equipment, do some drilling with him and stuff before he leaves to go to the academy on the 13th of September to start academy, which he'll be at for 7 weeks. He does have to attend the academy per contract obligations, but he has had an extensive amount of previous training prior to coming on the job with us. So what is normally the next 3 weeks of schooling over at the Fire Service Institute for the average person, he does not have to take because he's already had said classes. So he'll just be over at the academy for 7 weeks, and he'll come home and we'll start working with him here from there and start field training with him. He has a very extensive background of schooling. And so we are actually going to save a lot of time and in essence, money to go with it, at not having to send him to schooling. So he starts tomorrow. I'm working currently, after having a conversation with the comptroller the other day, I'm working currently to start trying to put some prices together to get a new vehicle, a replacement vehicle for myself. As all of you are aware, we took our mobile command unit out of service due to some frame rust issues last year, and purchased a new command vehicle for my battalion chiefs to use while they're on duty. And since then, I've been driving their vehicle, and we've determined that it's beyond having it on the roads anymore. Certainly not for emergency purposes. So I'm going to start looking at prices for that, and I'll hopefully be coming to you soon with prices on that and ask for the money for that. That's all I have for now. Any questions?
Go ahead, Alderman.
Yes, Chief. Are we still using the training towers there on Voorhees Street?
The training tower has not been used. We used it. We cleaned it extensively and used it for the testing process for the new hires that we just did this summer. Other than that, we have been making a point to avoid using it. The engineers that came and inspected it told us we could use the first 2 floors, but not the top 2 floors because of degrading and structural integrity issues. We are looking into, my understanding is here pretty quick, another firm going to come in and take a look at that and determine, is it repairable and at what cost, or is it going to be more financially feasible to tear it down and replace it instead? So we cleaned it up well and used the bottom 2 floors so that we could do the testing for the new hires. We've not used it since, and reality is we don't have any intentions of using it until we have an answer on that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that puts us to item number 11, humiliations. Sandra Finch is your administrator.
Good evening. It's good to be back in person. Last time I was on vacation, so it's good to be back in person again.
Welcome.
For the period of July 20th through August 16th, the office handled 27 complaints, which consisted of 4 police complaints, 8 employment complaints, 2 complaints against other city employees, 12 housing complaints, and 1 public accommodation complaint. Do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am. I'm Teague.
So is this number new complaints since July 20th? Or does this consist of open complaints and new complaints?
It consists of old and new complaints. Yes.
That's the only question I have.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Administrator Finch?
Yes.
Yes,
Alderman Reese.
could you give us some information on the 7 complainants?
Yes, Alderman Williams, yes, the program, well, actually, the ceremony or the time we're going to honor the 7 plaintiffs will be held at the September 21st City Council meeting, in which the mayor, I believe, had told you that the meeting that night will start at 5:30. I believe we have a very special presentation. We think the ceremony is going to be really, really nice. So I know you all will be there, so we're hoping for a really good turnout from the families. They all have been informed about the presentation, and they all are very excited about it. And so I know the mayor and I are definitely looking forward to it because of what we have planned with some of the aldermen as well. So it's just going to be a really nice affair.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Finch? Thank you, dear. Puts us to item number 12, Information Technology, Agnos De Silva.
Thank you, Chairman. We continue our work on a couple of projects. Fire records, it's in progress. We finished our week 1 configuration for fire records. Continuing to work with Ashlyn and her team on utility billing setup. We also have a few GIS projects that are in progress. We recently performed a cybersecurity assessment, an audit, and it looked pretty good. They pointed out a couple of not really major issues, but some medium, which we need to take care of. And in order to take care of that issue, they recommended we have some sort of a monitoring system in place 24/7 because the amount of threats that are out there, And right now I get a lot of emails and text messages, at 2 a.m. and 3 o'clock saying that one of our systems is doing some, there's some traffic that's going out, to Russian Federation or something like that. So basically, we need something in place that can help us to kind of look at all these events and then kind of narrow down on what's important, what we need to prioritize to take care of those things. So I talked to Chairman Streaming about looking at our cybersecurity layer of security that we have in place. We use 3 different vendors right now. So our goal is to kind of combine everything to one vendor. Was recommended by CISA, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, in other words, Division of Homeland Security. So they provided us a free assessment, which actually saved us quite a bit of money if we had to outsource it. So I will be bringing that to you, to the Public Works Committee, and then take it to the full council. And I'll also talk to Chairman Poor and let him know about that. Mayor and I kind of talked briefly about it. So then we may need a budget amendment for that. So basically what we'll be doing is we'll not renew our existing contract with those 3 vendors. Instead, we'll bring this vendor on board and sign a 3-year contract with a discounted pricing. Other than that, my team has been working really hard on different projects, and I would like to thank their support. And also I'd like to thank everyone for their support. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Well, I think when we talked, the thing that you're doing with 3 different companies right now, trying to keep the boogeyman out, and this will all put under one individual and one group, and at no extra cost, right?
There will be a little bit of extra cost, but I'm trying to work with them, trying to get us a discount so we keep it the same.
Okay.
So we don't need a budget amendment. But I still think that it'll be a minimal cost over what we're already paying.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up this evening.
No problem.
Is there any
Thank
other
you, Chairman.
questions for Agnew? All right, thank you, Agnew.
Thank you.
Chairman, I would just say that Agnell and his team have been killing themselves to make sure that we're safe. And our security grade was much better than many of the larger municipalities. So I'm proud of them, and they're making sure that they keep our information together and have that it has ensuring that it has integrity. So
Thank you, Mayor.
Looking forward to seeing that information in the resolution. All right, puts us to item number 13, legal. James L. Simon, our corporate counsel. Items of information for us.
Our new assistant corporation counsel is progressing very well. I'm very pleased how quickly she's picking up on things, and she's a wonderful addition. We've been busy dealing with all sorts of issues that you all have presented to us, and that's about it.
Does anybody have any questions for corporate counsel?
Chairman, I would just thank he and the rest of their team and also Alderman Pickering. They've been doing a lot of work around some code enforcement issues. And I am hoping that sometime next month or beginning of October at the latest, that we'll be able to bring some updated ordinances to you that will help us have a little more teeth as far as it pertains to enforcement.
Okay, then we talked the last time we met, full council. How are you coming with the ordinance on the boats and stuff like that? Will that be in this group as well?
We hope to have that to you within the next, by the first councilman Tuesday. I mean, the first council meeting in October at the
Okay.
latest too. So,
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes,
Any other questions for corporate counsel?
Thank you.
Okay, if not, we'll move to item number 14. Police, Chris Yates, the police chief, puts us 14A, ordinance amending chapter 34 of the city code pertaining to bicycle disposal. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, puts it to item 14B, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a police vehicle and disposal of an unused police vehicle. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on this?
I have one question.
Okay,
Is it unused or no longer being used?
Chief?
It's no longer being used due to
Okay.
mechanical issues.
Okay. The word unused was kind of ambiguous.
Sure.
Any other questions? Not, roll call, please.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, puts us to item number 15, Public Works. I don't see Carl Carpenter here.
Chairman Streebing,
Yes.
I believe he had some items of information under police.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went right past the item of information. Chris, I was gonna pass you up.
Trying to cut me off, aren't you?
I'm done.
I'll pay for that one.
After that closed session last time.
I'll pay for that one.
I have a unit out here around Civic Center. No, just kidding. I just handed out, and I apologize, I don't always put these into the, before the meeting. We're trying to get more data. That way we can provide a larger sample for you. However, the 12 different crimes that we're watching very closely, ag assault, we saw a slight increase in that, 6% over this last quarter. And this is generally the busiest quarter that we have, May through August. Burglary was down 8%. Domestic battery was up 20%. And I'll come back to that. Possession of cold substance, we made 5 times the normal seizures. Now that's a proactive stat. Okay, it shows that what the guys are getting and gals are getting when they go out and do interdiction. So we actually had a 500% increase in drug seizures. Gunshot victims were down 65% this quarter from last year's same quarter. Home invasion down 25%. And keep in mind, I'm running these percentages off my head, so they may be off a few points. Robberies down approximately 150%. Sexual assault doubled, almost doubled. Aggravated discharge of a firearm down 30%. Another thorn in my side is traffic crashes. That was up from 398 last year during that quarter to 417 this year. I don't know what the percentage is on that, but it's a constant thorn we're working on. And then armed persons calls for service down 4%. So, domestic battery is something that I've harped on several times about how we need to combat that with education, training, and prosecution. We have different initiatives that we're working on right now. We'll announce whenever it's available. And then, 4.5 traffic crashes per day. Local stats, same as state stats. Number 1 is distracted driving. Number 2 is speeding. We're dealing with that the best we can. We're also looking for additional resources to combat that. Does anybody have any questions on those?
The one question I have from a statistical perspective, particularly with accidents, because you said it's the biggest thorn in your side. I'm curious to know.
Domestic battery actually is one of them.
Well, a much bigger thorn.
Yeah.
Statistically, the bigger numbers of accidents. And I'm just curious to know, like, what the number would be for that for 19, since we know that many of those months in 20, we were shut down. I would imagine that there weren't as many people on the road. Like, I know the numbers have gone up this year versus last year, but this particular thing could possibly be attributed to there being more people on the road than the same period of time last year.
I don't think that there is enough of a difference to where we could draw an anomaly due to COVID on the traffic crashes. I'm sure it affected a lot of things somewhat. I think domestics were affected by that one way or another. Also, we have a rise in domestics also because a lot of our policy changes. I wrote one of the first policies I wrote in 20, well, I wrote it years ago, but it got put in the manual in 2019, late 2019, and then reinstituted again in 20, was the way we report and respond to domestic violence calls. We put a very strict policy on discretionary issues with that. So that's also going to increase our number of reports. But COVID had sexual assaults and domestic violence. I mean, if you look at the core root of it, a lot of it's over control and power. So we see sometimes a similarity in the rises and falls of that, and different COVID may have had something to do with that also. But I don't have the data to where I can draw a substantial what do you want to call it?
Conclusion.
Causal or causation on that.
Okay.
I would be misspeaking, or I would be speaking without facts.
Okay.
So.
All right. Anything else for us, Chief?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Chief Yates, my concern is with the school district 118 going to a private provider for their security. I'm concerned about that because in the past we've had our Danville police involved with that. Is there any connection, or how can we feel that this group out of Chicago is going to provide the necessary services that is going to be needed in this time of insecurity?
That would be news to me. We still have 3 SROs at District 118.
So we still have the same number of resource officers at the schools, Alderman Williams. I'm not sure if they've added an additional layer of private contractors or.
Okay, I was informed that they had private security service also.
I know there was private security, and they took the SROs out of Champaign
Okay,
School District. I don't know much information about that,
Okay.
but we have not taken our SROs. Matter of fact, I think I've had meetings with the superintendent and the teachers and different groups, and they do not want them to leave the schools.
Okay.
So I'm not for sure if anybody that they may have hired for additional or for security would be in addition and to supplant our SROs, but I just don't have that information, sir.
okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Anybody else have any more questions for the chief? No, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Which is to item 15, Public Works with Carl Carpenter, Director. 15A, we have an ordinance authorizing purchase of real property. I will make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second.
Second.
Any questions on 15A, authorizing purchase of real property?
Chairman, do we need to amend that to add the additional property, or did you do that at the?
Logan, is that the one you wanted to push that into?
Yes.
Okay, we have another piece of property then to go in that was changed.
What's the address?
What's the address?
314 North Washington.
Okay. And would you give us a little tidbit on that, please?
Yeah, I would have liked to have had it listed on the ordinance for tonight's meeting, but it was kind of a last minute deal verbally struck with the Vermilion Housing Authority. We struck a verbal agreement to have a demolition partnership to tear down 314 North Washington, which is currently owned by the Vermilion County trustee. And their planned use, first of all, if you haven't seen the property, it is very blighted and the weeds, and it's very overgrown, pest everywhere. But anyway, their plan is to, first of all, rid it of blight, and then second, use it for excess parking.
This is the former funeral home, if y'all, on,
Oh.
Right across from Bueller Terrace?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah,
right behind Madison Court.
yeah, Madison Court, yeah.
So we need it,
Okay.
Chairman, we'll need a motion to amend it to add
Okay.
that
Yeah.
address.
Okay. Okay, you go ahead with your question, dear. Then we'll amend it. Go ahead.
I just want, is there 28 parcels now then?
There is 28 parcels. Yes.
That'll be 28. And I guess we'll need to move to amend that. I guess I'll need a motion to add 314 North Washington in the agreement and a second on that.
So move.
Second.
Any other questions on the real property?
Chairman, you do have to have a vote on the amendment.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
before- I'm sorry, we haven't had an
Okay,
amendment.
on the
in a long time.
amendment, okay. Is there any questions about the addition to the 314 North Washington Street? If not, roll call, please, on. the
Alderman
amendment.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, and now we will vote on the ordinance with the parcel that was added. Bring it to 28 instead of 27. And of course, this will take care of the change by next week's meeting. So no other questions. Roll call, please.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
Brings us to 15C, the resolution approving an Eastern Voorhees TIF RIP RIP grant application for Cessna 0121 LLC.
Did we do 15B?
We still have to do 15B.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got all confused there. Let's go back to 15B, resolution. Yeah, I better do that one. Resolution amending FY 2021 and 22 budget for Community Development Block Grant Fund 106. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Do you have any questions on the change? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
Oh, 15C. I must really like this one. Resolution approving an Eastern Voorhees TIF RIP grant application for Cessna 0121 LLC. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading. Ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Any questions? Not, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman Pickering,
Yes.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
Brings us to 15D, a resolution approving an Eastern Voorhees TIF grant, RIP grant application for Cambium Growth Fund 123 LLC. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading. Ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Now, I have a question on these. This money's paid out after the fact, after all the work is done.
After project is complete and a certificate of occupancy is given from the building inspector.
And the grant total is only 50,000, right?
That is where we like to cap the upfront grants.
Okay. Is there any questions?
Could you explain what you just said?
Yeah, I put quotations, air quotes. Typically, we like to stay around $50,000. Number one, because majority of our TIF funds aren't incredibly healthy, and we don't want to run them completely dry in one grant. Because as you can see, just out of the blue, we had two pretty large grants in comparison to what we have in the past. So the RIP grant, for those of you that don't know, is an agreement struck. I require proposals be done. They have to have the building improvements completely planned out in advance. This can't be by the shoelaces. And they send in the application that you see in your packet. And if it's under 20,000, then it's in-house approval, and over 20, you guys get to see it. And like I said, they go through the project. They have to put up 100% of the cost either out of bank financing or private. And then once it's complete, we reimburse them. Yes, over the RIP grant is going to be a tax incentive, basically a percentage. That's a redevelopment agreement that's returned on property tax abatements that the city pays out in checks, but that's only after the property value increases, so the taxable value is more.
And I could see how that would happen with the two places you're talking about being closed.
Yeah.
Chairman, we're really excited about not only these two, but there are a couple of other projects. There are a couple other projects in this area that are going to be coming to fruition too. So I think it will be a great help to both the Northeast neighborhood as well as Holiday Hills. So pretty excited.
Okay. All right. And with that, there's no more questions. Need a roll call on 15D, please.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
Brings us to 15E, a resolution approving a water usage reporting agreement with Aqua, Illinois Incorporated. I will make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second.
Second.
Is there any questions on the resolution 15E? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, brings us to item 16, closed session. I don't have any paperwork in front of me, so we're not going to have one this evening. I'm so sorry. What brings us to item number 17, items and reformations. Anybody have anything?
Oh, the chief.
Oh, Chief.
I'm sorry, I was just looking at one figure. I think I told you we had a increase of 5 times on controlled substance seizures. I got 2 different sheets here. I looked at it. It's actually just slightly over double, not 5 times. That was an error. When you look at possession of controlled substance,
Yes.
okay, just wanted to clarify. Or was I fibbing?
Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Is there any other items of information?
I do have one.
I was going to follow up on what Chief gave. So which is right? The printed paper with the numbers on it, or the one with the pie chart? I mean, with the graphs?
Both of them that you've got's right. I just had an extra sheet here that was a preliminary number that I questioned earlier when these numbers were running. Unfortunately, I didn't discard that piece of paper. The one that you have is correct. It's showing going from 52 seizures, that was up from 24 the year prior. So that would be correct, what you have.
Okay, because the other paper says 27 and 5.
Yeah, that would be incorrect as well.
Okay, that's wrong. Okay,
The graph would be correct on that. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. You have a little question?
Yes, I do. Just something I want to pass on. I was hearing a lot about the treatment for the early onset patients that have been treated positive with COVID-19. It is called monoclonal. And I called and talked to Melissa Rome, who is the Emergency Planning and Response Coordinator at the Vermilion County Health Department. She informed me that we do have this in the Vermilion County, and it has been effective. I asked her why we have not heard more about it, and she said that Melissa said that they did they had a news release, but she didn't know why there was not that much response to it. So I feel like this is something that we need to get out to our community, and I hope that we, as aldermen, will let people know about this, and also the news media, if they would get that out, because we could save some lives. And they say I've heard it's 70 to 85% effective, keeping people out of the hospital and off events.
Any other items of information?
If someone could enlighten us as to the Labor Day parade is coming up.
Yes, sir. We do have a Labor Day. The Labor Day parade will still happen. It will be on Labor Day, which is this year, Monday, September 6th. It will start at 9:30 a.m.
Okay.
And they'll be coming down Vermilion Street just like usual, Alderman.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, we're still a few weeks out, Chairman, but just want to remind everyone that we do have our Fall Festival coming up on September 18th and 19th. We will have a river cleanup at 8 a.m. on the 18th in partnership with Keep Vermilion County Beautiful, as well as Pier Court. So we're excited about that. The car show will be back on Saturday as well. So that will be a great day. And we are actually still in need of a few food vendors. Unfortunately, we have 13 vendors every year. Of the 13, 6 of them have closed completely due to COVID. So if you know of anyone who is a food vendor, please have them get in touch with me or Ashton so that we can hopefully get them involved with that.
You said that's the 18th?
The 18th and the 19th, yes, sir. The 18th from 10 to 8 and the 19th from 10 to 5.
I had somebody ask me last night.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other items of information? Well, if not, let's go back into the heat. I'll need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And
No, you move it, Mrs.
are you
Green?
moving it?
I move.
I made
I
a
move.
motion.
I'm
I need
sorry.
a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Let's
Thanks,
get this
Chairman.
right.
Just providing, do you know if it's Carl or Sue? She didn't specify, but she said it'd be nice to know.
Yes. She said.